Thank you. So I am going to talk about the impact of antimicrobial resistance in agriculture. So we are in a very basic state of research now, very infancy. So I am going to give an overview. It is not from our research finding. So I am going to give an overview of what is happening around the globe and the impact of agriculture on antimicrobial resistance. So you may aware of the antimicrobial resistance. Long time back, decades back, we used to think about that antimicrobial resistance means antibiotic resistance. So now it is not like that. It encompasses antifungal resistance and other resistance which are developed in the microbial species. So during the month of August, you might have aware that there was a news clipping. There is a pathogen called Candida tropicalis which infects a human being, which is an invasive organism in tropical countries, where it causes candidiasis, a disease called candidiasis in human being, especially in bloodstream. So now people are struggling to control this particular disease, because for the management of that particular disease in human being, azole group of compounds are used, a chemical called fluconazole, which was given for the management of that particular disease in human being. Now, even after the increased or elevated dose of this particular fluconazole, they could not able to contain the disease. When they examined why, what kind of reason, why it has happened, so they found that has developed resistance due to the use of a fungicide called tebuconazole. So tebuconazole is now commonly used by the farmers for the management of several diseases. So the organism has developed cross resistance. So it is very difficult because no one has imagined that it is mainly due to the use of a fungicide which is for the management of plant diseases could able to cause a resistance in human pathogen. So likewise, in previously a decade back, we used to tell the restricted use of antibiotic compounds. So everything is in theory, not in practical. So there is no regulation for the restricted use of these antibiotics as far as India is concerned. We are having a lot of antibiotics which are used for the management of plant diseases, which is available. So just we will see this, what is this antimicrobial resistance. Just last year only we have initiated, for one of the master students, we have given a topic on the phytoplasma resistance. So the antimicrobial resistance is the ability of the microbes to resist antimicrobial agents. It is a broader term. So it is a global challenge, and also it is linking to plant, animal health and human health. It is not only concerned with human health, it is also concerned with animal health and also the plant health. So that's why it is nowadays considered under the One Health approach. Very recently, last month, we got a communication from our state planning commission what kind of research work you have initiated for this One Health for the management of antimicrobial resistance. So we have given a reply that we have initiated. It is in the very primitive stage. So in agriculture, the extensive use of antimicrobials for managing the crop and livestock diseases. So agriculture includes animal husbandry, fisheries, shrimp farming, several things. So most of things the people are in animal husbandry also people are using antibiotic compounds. In fisheries, in shrimp farming, they are using lot amount of antibiotic compounds. Livestock diseases that leads to the emergence of resistant pathogens and the spread of the resistant genes. So two things. So here it is the AMR. One is development of resistant pathogens and also the spread of the resistant genes from this organism to another organism, maybe of the same species or a different species. So this led to the persistent infection. So as I said earlier in Candida tropicalis, so it leads to the persistence of the infection in the human being or animal or in the plant system, and also what it leads to? It leads to over usage of the chemical. So that leads to environmental contamination. So normally in farmers' practice, if you recommend 2 ml per liter of water, they used to go for elevated dose for the management of either pest or disease, whatever the case may be. So if it is not controlled by the particular chemical, they are tempted to use more quantity. That leads to a lot of contamination in the environmental system. And also it affects the ecosystem balance. So we are talking about the soil health. Soil health depends upon the soil microbiome. So such kind of resistant microbes are present in the system. They will affect the balance of the microbial community in the soil. That in turn affects the soil fertility, soil nutrition management, conversion of nutrients, several things. It's a chain of events. And also ultimately it leads to the food safety. So Dr. Sar has told in the morning that you can test your the presence of pesticide residue on a peeling method, just touch and peel. So like that, here it leads to a lot of contamination in the food products. So that's why it is a main culprit for several aspects. It is not only directly antimicrobial resistant, and also several diseases in human being, especially one of the presenter, I think on the first day they told that in a particular village there were so many number of cancer patients because of use of large quantity of this chemicals, pesticides or fungicides, mainly due to they are dumping, mainly due to they want to control and harvest, but it is not on the dose which is recommended by the scientist or by the extension worker. Overdose is also leads to the development of resistance in the organism, so that ultimately leads to the affect all the food chains in the system. So the One Health concept, it is an approach, it concern about the health of humans, animals and environment. It is an interdependent word, One Health. And this antimicrobial management integrates surveillance and interventions and across the system, because we are alone, not alone, plant disease management or insect management not alone going to solve this issue. It requires the intervention from all the sectors and also surveillance from all the sector. Then only we can able to have a fruitful result in this particular management. In agriculture, this AMR highlights the resistant bacteria and genes move through soil, water and food chains. So that's what I explained, that it is moving through different systems, directly and also indirectly. So this is the discovery of antibiotics. So right from the penicillin discovery, in the above it is mentioned the year of discovery of the antibiotic compounds. In the below you can see that the arrow marks indicates the development of resistance against the particular antibiotic compound. So most of the antibiotic compounds which were developed up to 2000 has developed resistance. So in Indian scenario, as I said, that the research in this particular area is in a very infant stage. So we have to generate lot of data, and also first of all it requires the collaboration and coordination between different departments like human welfare, that is medical department, animal husbandry department, fisheries department and also agriculture department. So there are several departments which are operating or working in isolation, but it requires an interaction and coordination among the different sectors. So that's what I told our state planning commission. They have called the veterinary university people, fisheries university people and also from medical science. The member is retired medical professor Dr. Amlotpanathan, who only chaired the session. So this is the absence of strict regulations. As I said earlier, we don't have any strict regulation to comply with the restricted use of antibiotic compounds. So that is a major issue in case of, say, I may not recommend the antibiotic compound for the management of the disease, but the farmer can get it from the shop directly, because there is no restriction for the selling of that particular compound. So it is available. It is available in the market. They can use it. So there need a restriction for the production and the sale of these particular compounds, which are the culprits for the AMR. So nowadays, as I said, it is an infant stage. National initiatives, academic research are gradually bridging the gap. So now only in academic institutes also started working on this line, and these are all the hot spots for the AMR, agriculture, animal husbandry, household, industry, even from the sewage water from household or industry or hospitals or aquaculture, the groundwater contamination. There are several sources which led to the AMR. So as far as we are focusing on plant pathology, in plant pathology also we are using antibiotic compounds for the management of bacterial diseases, streptomycin, tetracycline, kasugamycin. These are all commonly available antibiotics for the management of diseases. As during the previous presentation, Dr. Karthikeyan pointed out that tetracycline was recommended for the management of phytoplasma. It could be able to suppress the development of the symptom for a brief period, and afterwards the symptom remission will be there. But nowadays even we could not able to see the symptom suppression at all. So that itself indicates that it is the particular organism might have developed resistance against the particular antibiotic compound. So this kind of resistance development hampers the disease management, increases the dependency on stronger, often more hazardous chemicals. As I said, the farmers are forced to use overdose. So that is also harmful to the environment and also the human being in the food chain, everything. So these are all some examples. Some of the antibiotic compounds which I have mentioned were already reported for resistance. Say example, Xanthomonas oryzae, Petavar oryzae, which causes bacterial blight in rice, which is showing the antibiotic resistance are reported for streptomycin, tetracycline. In tomato, Pseudomonas syringae against streptomycin, citrus, potato and chili. Some of this is a very primitive work they have reported from the I have culled out from the literature. So what is the mechanism by which this AMR is developing? So enzymatic inactivation in the system. So these are all the mechanism by which it leads to the AMR development. And in case of the acquisition of resistance, normal bacterial things, transduction, transformation, conjugation, all those things are aiding for the development of AMR. So these antimicrobial genes are normally moved through the conjugation process from the resistant bacterial cell to the susceptible one, and horizontal gene transfer also abating this kind of phenomenon in bacteria. So this impact is that they are affecting, it reduces the soil fertility, nutrient cycling, plant resilience, and enhancing the pathogen survival. And what are all there is a national action plan for this AMR. The objectives are rational antimicrobial use, AMR surveillance, promotion of alternatives, and capacity building. So these are all some objectives of under NAP. So there are throughout the nation we are having a network of surveillance laboratories. One is situated in Coimbatore also, Coimbatore Medical College. We are having one surveillance laboratory. So throughout India we are having 30 different laboratories. So the molecular surveillance approach is one of the tool which we can employ for the identification of this antimicrobial resistance. And also now we are having a basket full of molecular tools like metagenomics, which are helpful to identify these bacteria which are present in the soil. So the rhizosporic soil or the field soils we can subject to metagenomic analysis, and we can identify the presence or absence of this antimicrobial resistant bacteria. And resistant gene profiling is another method by which we can identify the bacteria which are possessing the resistance against a particular group of chemical or compound. So now we are in the era of artificial intelligence, so we can also employ artificial intelligence for the AMR prediction. This will help us to integrate the AI with genomic data, which accelerates early detection and decision making for the AMR management. So sustainable alternatives, what are all the sustainable alternatives? We can, very popular is biological control. So avoiding the use of the highly toxic chemicals, we can go for biological control, and other bioagents like bacteriophages and antimicrobial peptides can be used for the management of this AMR to suppress or minimize the development of AMR. It is not going to totally wipe out, we can minimize. And genome editing strategies can also be employed, and ecological monitoring and mitigation, this is a very, very important one. So because I told, I have given in one slide I have showed that the sewage water contamination through the industry or hospitals, several things we have to monitor. So the ecological monitoring is very much important for this AMR. And also we have to create awareness among the farmers. That is the first point we have to do. We have to tell what are all the harmful effects of these chemicals and the AMR, and how which can be minimized or mitigated. We have to create awareness among the farmers, and also we have to tell them the alternative strategies by which we can able to overcome or subsidize this kind of development. So there are global and regional collaborations are there. FAO, WHO, World Organization for Animal Health, World Global Antimicrobial Resistance Organization GLAS. So there are several organizations are working. So they are developing databases. So these databases can be enhanced by cross-border collaboration, because we need data from not only from one country. Throughout the world we need data on such kind of activities, then only we can able to have a concrete idea how to manage this. So there is there are a lot of challenges and knowledge gaps available. So for this management of this AMR. So the future prospects is we can expand the AI you can use the AI analytics, expanding the AMR database and promoting sustainable agricultural practices, as I discussed earlier, strengthening of interdisciplinary research, that will be the that will give the holistic approach for this tackling the AMR. So nutshell, AMR in agriculture threatens food security and also ecosystem stability. So One Health approach integrating environmental, plant, human health perspectives is essential to mitigate the risks. The future lies on sustainable innovation, policy reform and global cooperation. So it is a global problem, not only a problem pertaining to India or France. So we have to collaborate with world level organizations. So it is a global issue we have to address to mitigate this kind of AMR. Thank you very much.
Long live India and France friendship.